The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Good evening, Mr. Price.
Hello, Gordon.
Make yourself comfortable, sir. Miss Dunn will be down in a few moments.
Thank you.
May I mix you a drink?
No, thank you.
Yes, sir?
I'm Jack Benny. Miss Dunn is expecting me.
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
May I take your coat, sir?
Oh, yes, yes.
And your hat?
Oh. Well, Mr. Vincent Price. I'm Jack Benny, star of stage, screen, radio, and television.
How do you do?
So, the two rivals meet, eh?
Rivals? What do you mean?
Well, I guess I should have let Irene tell you, but it looks as though I'm going to take your place in this picture.
You're taking my place? Oh, that's ridiculous, old boy.
Oh, no, it isn't. You see, at rehearsal tonight, you and I are both going to read the parts, and the best man will win.
The best man?
Yes.
Mr. Benny, when two people are involved in a statement, the comparative is used. You don't say the best man will win, you say the better man will win.
Oh.
But when three or more people are involved, then the word best is the correct adjective.
I see.
So before we compete for this part, Mr. Benny, it might be well if you first learn to speak English.
Well, for your information, Mr. Price, I went to Waukegan High School and excelled in English. I got 99 every single term.
Well, ain't that ginger peachy?
Now, cut that out! Of all the sore losers, you certainly take the cake.
Hello, Gordon. How do you do, Mr. Ello? Hello, Weens.
Oh, hello, Gregory.
Well, hello, Gregory.
What are you doing here?
Well, I just thought I'd come
Gregory,
around.
I don't know what this is all about, and I demand an explanation. Am I or am I not appearing opposite Miss Dunn?
Well, of course you are.
Well, then what is this Schlemiel talking about?
Schlemiel?
Yes, S-H-L-E.
I know how to spell it. I didn't get 99 in English for nothing. Now, look,
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Irene.
Gregory, Vincent.
Hello.
well, everybody's here, I guess.
Yes, everybody. Some coffee, Gregory?
No, thank you, Irene.
Vincent?
Yes, please.
I'll have a cup.
Mr. Price? Mr. Benny?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Gee, Irene, this is the better coffee I ever tasted.
The word is best.
There are only two of us drinking. The comparative. Well, let's get on with the contest, shall we? I mean, the rehearsal.
Go on. Take this tray, please.
Gregory, before we begin this rehearsal, let's settle one thing for Mr. Benny's benefit. Is he or is he not replacing me in this picture?
Certainly not. This is ridiculous.
Of course, it's ridiculous.
I think it's absurd.
You keep out. Take out the dishes like Miss Dunn told you.
All right, all right. Now, let's get on with the rehearsal. Look here, Jack. If you insist on staying, just keep quiet and sit down over here.
All right.
Now, look here, Irene, honey child. We will start with the scene that takes place in the drawing room.
Oh, Irene, is it all right if I have some of these walnuts here?
Oh, help yourself, Jack.
Yes, it's big ones.
As I said, we will start with a scene that takes place in the drawing room.
That was a tough one.
Look, Irene, in this scene, your husband is late for dinner for 2 hours. Jack, will you please stop hitting me now?
Well, Irene said I could. Anyway, I don't want to sit here like a bump on a log. Look, if I can't play the leading role, isn't there something I can do?
All right. You can play the butler.
The butler?
Yeah, here is the script. We start on page 12.
All right.
Look, Irene, you are the wife, and Vincent is the husband that doesn't understand. And Jack,
I'm the butler whom Irene really loves.
you're the butler, that's all. And please stop rewriting the script. Irene is not in love with you. Irene is in love with Vincent. And you're just the butler, that's all.
Wait a minute, don't shout at me. You know, I'm old enough to be your brother.
Vincent, dear, would you please make your entrance from there? Irene, honey, look. He's late for dinner for 2 hours. You're very nervous. So will you please start from here?
Where should I go?
Oh, go any place. Scene where you call the butler.
All right. Oh, Smedley. Smedley.
Smedley. What is it, madame?
Are you sure my husband hasn't phoned?
I'm quite sure, madame. Shall I serve dinner?
No, I'm much too upset to eat. I've been under such tension these last few weeks. Oh, why does my husband treat me like this? Why does he act so...
Winston, that's where you're making your entrance.
Okay. Oh, good evening, darling. Sorry I'm so late.
Oh, Michael, you're always late and you're always sorry. It's been like this for months. What's come between us?
Nothing, my dear. It's just that I've been so busy lately at the office. Now, let's forget about it. Come here and give me a little kiss.
Dinner is served. I came in too soon here. I'm sorry, Grandma.
Jack, you don't come in for a few minutes more. Will you please sit down? Continue, darling. I'm sorry.
Oh, Michael, I just can't kiss you and forget it. This can't go on forever.
Every night it's the same argument, this constant nagging. I tell you, I've been working at the office.
But I telephoned your office. They said you left at 2 this afternoon.
Well, I had business at the bank.
Michael, you were not at the bank and you know it.
All right, so I wasn't. Must I explain my every move to you?
There's a worm in this one. Look at the way it wiggles.
Jack, will you please stop interrupting? And please get away from those notes. I'm sorry, darling. Well, please continue.
Oh, it's no use, Michael. I know you're lying. Look at you. Everything you say, everything you do gives you away.
Well, you can keep on talking. I'm going to have dinner.
But, Michael, I must know. Do you love me or not?
Of course I love you.
You're lying.
Very well, then I am lying. You might as well know the truth, my dear. I've never loved you, never.
Michael!
And if you weren't so
What are you
stupid, you would have
saying?
known it long ago.
What are you
I
saying?
married you for your money, that's all.
No, Michael.
Everybody else has
Stop.
known it, and if you weren't such a blind little fool,
Stop,
you would have
Michael.
realized it
Stop.
yourself. And the sooner you divorce me, the happier I
No,
will be.
Michael, no, I'll never divorce you.
Here,
I couldn't
here,
live
stop these
without
dramatics.
you.
I'm leaving.
Michael.
I'm going to my club. Smedley, pack my clothes.
I wouldn't touch your dirty clothes. You schlemiel?
Jack, it isn't in the script.
Well, I can't help it. He made Irene cry.
Well, he's supposed to make me cry. It's in the story.
Well, if that's the kind of a picture it is, I don't even want to be in it.
Who asked you to be in it?
Irene did.
I did not.
Well, somebody did. I'm here.
Look here, Irene. I've never directed before under such aggravating circumstances, and I'll never direct under such aggravating circumstances again. I'm quitting.
Now, do you see what you've done, you blunderhead?
Well, now, wait a minute. There's no need for everybody to get excited. Look, I'll tell you what, Vincent. Or may I call you Vince?
You may call me Mr. Price.
Oh. Well, look, Mr. Price. Look, there's nothing to worry about now because, you see, I can direct the picture.
Oh, so now you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Irene, but I've had enough of this, too. I'm leaving.
Well, he's gone.
Yes, Jack, and I hope you're satisfied.
Oh, I am. Of course, I didn't want to get Vincent's part by default. I thought Irina was very, very clever the way you maneuvered it.
The way I... Why,
Schlemiel?
Yes, that's it. I quit, too.
Well, I've never been so insulted in all my life. Gordon, my hat and coat.
I wouldn't touch your dirty clothes.
You might as well go home.
Very well, Mr. McPug, we are ready.
Well, if it isn't Loverboy.
No hard feelings, Mr. Wentworth?
Why, certainly not. Here, let me help you into the ring.
Oh, fine, let's do that.
No!
What? No!
Went right through the ceiling.
Look what I got out of orbit. Them Russians are going to be awful mad, boy, awful mad. Be careful, there's a midget dog in there. He bit me. Here, help me into the wing, will you, boy?
Boys, we're not going to rehearse this fight scene.
Oh?
We're just going to shoot it the way it goes, so make it good. Okay, boys, roll 'em.
Roll him? Roll him? Yeah, come on. I'm burning the bomb.
Stop shadow boxing. That fight hasn't begun yet.
It hadn't. Well, you better keep an eye on that shadow because somebody's beating me to death.
Over here, please. Mr. Wentworth, no hitting below the belt like this, sir. And Mr. Wentworth, no rabbit punching like this.
Yeah, none of that stuff. He wouldn't do anything. No. It's the first time I've ever been knocked out by a referee.
Well, all right, I want you guys to go to your corner and come out fight.
Yeah, could I start from here? I don't think I can make it from over there.
Get to your corner.
Yeah.
Stupid. Right here, Mr. Wentworth.
Somebody help me get my robe off. Would you fellas take my robe off of me? There. Boy, I thought I would punch you. You can't get it off that way.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get it. I'll get it.
Here. It ain't gonna work that way.
No, I guess not. I got a better idea.
What that?
Oh! Guess that won't work either.
I think you better start.
All right, let's move. There we are.
Oh, there's the bell.
All right, Mr. Wentworth.
We did it. What are they remaking? The Great Wall?
Perspiration.
What's wrong with that?
It'll ruin my makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mr. Wentworth. Knock him out.
Wait a minute. Now, you wouldn't hit a helpless man, would you?
My dear boy, those are the ideal conditions.
Oh. Here, I'll knock your kneecap off. Oh.
I did it.
You hit me?
I did.
Yeah?
I did it!
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. He's the kind of fight I ought to do all the time. It's the first one I ever won.
Mama, you look magnificent.
Would I really? How about a kiss?
Alice,
Oh, thank God you like
The Red Skelton Show with David Rose and his orchestra. Guest stars Vincent Price and Jackie Coogan. And the star of our show, Red Skelton.
I'm sorry, madam. Our paintings start at $10,000. Yes, Gilbert Galleries represents only the finest artists. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
burying them setting up now. There's no chance of him breaking up. Look at him. Oh, pardon me, sir.
Oh, good afternoon. I'll be with you in a minute. Oh, yes. You must be a couple of models for a painting of Skid Row.
I beg your pardon, sir. My colleague and myself, we have an art treasure.
Now, you don't mean to tell me that you're a collector?
You might say that.
You two hobos, get out of here. I'm a very busy man.
Oh, but wait a minute. We found a painting by Leonardo da Vinci.
I don't care who it's by. Out.
It's Da Vinci. You don't... His mother was frightened by an owl. You know, walk this way, but be careful. You can never tell what's under the snow, you know.
On one occasion, I passed up a Rembrandt, and on another, I let a Gainsborough slip through my fingers, but I couldn't live with myself if I passed up a Da Vinci. My, what a revolting atmosphere. Oh, I've never seen such a miserable slum.
Yeah, if you think this is bad, wait till you get inside. Oh, just a minute. This happens to be a GI home.
A GI home?
Yeah, gee, I wish I was in Beverly Hills. Come, gentlemen, follow me. Here we are. Oh, here we are. Don't do that!
Why don't you look in the mailbox? There may be a letter for Mama. Good grief, the missing Da Vinci.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Gilbert? What do you think?
What do I think? Well, I think it's absolutely worthless. It's just a cheap copy of the original.
Oh, you sure? You sure?
Yes, of course. Any idiot can see that.
Well, you don't have to call yourself names, you know.
Well, of course, I can always use this canvas to clean brushes. And I tell you what, I'll give you $10.
$10? Well, now, that's mighty generous of you. But on second thought, I think it's worth more than that to keep the snow out.
Snow? What snow?
Come here, look. Just a moment. Here, let me help you out here. Just a moment there.
Good heavens! If you call me to fly, I'll belt you right over the head. Anyway, Freddie, look. You give me this painting.
I'll give you the painting.
And I'll have this whole wall plastered.
Yeah, I'll plaster you, too, boy. You know, for a worthless... Oh! All right, I'm a friend of yours.
I walked on them.
You walk on them, so can I. Yeah. Say, I know something you don't know now.
What?
You're on my foot. Hey, you know, he's awful anxious to get that worthless painting.
Yeah, I think there's something rotten in Denmark.
I think it's closer than that.
Look, why don't I just buy this whole shack?
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
I'll give you $500.
$500?
There you are.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is deductible, isn't it? Say, you know, now that you bought that shack, how about buying that canvas to keep the snow out?
What?
What?
That canvas goes with the shack.
No, it don't. You didn't buy the place furnished.
Cut out all this nonsense. I'll give you $10,000 for that worthless painting.
I'm sorry, but this worthless painting is not for sale.
All right, I'm leaving, but I'm warning you, you'll be sorry that you didn't sell me that worthless painting. Yes.
Come here. Close the door. There's a draft in here. Want to know something?
What?
They didn't build that door very good, did
No.
they? You know, he may be after that painting, but I think it's us he's trying to frame.
What he say?
Mamma mia!
What he
He
say?
takes a picture of his mommy.
Mamma mia!
What a disappointment.
Yeah. What?
I am wasting my time coming here to see that painting.
Oh, it might be worth a lot of money.
Ah, it is worth nothing. I have seen better artwork on top of a pizza.
Well, good morning, Freddie. Good morning.
Well, what a coinkydinky that you should show up at this time.
And I was just taking my morning's constitutional in the city dump. And I thought I'd drop by. Well, I thought I'd just drop by and see how you boys were doing with your worthless painting.
Yes. I'm going to look that all up after the show. Remember what happened to old W.C.? Hey, yeah, something I think you should know, Mr. Gilbert. Yes, sir. Take a look at that, would you?
Jack Parr walks off of...
No. The headline. Read the head.
Hobo's painting worth fortune.
Get a load of this. Priceless Da Vinci found in Hobo's shack. Leading critics agree on authenticity of rare painting.
Authenticity?
Yeah, it rhymes with Da Vinci.
It might do you good to know that there were a few art critics here earlier today.
Freddie, look, I must have that painting. It's an obsession.
No, it's not. It's a Da Vinci.
All right, I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million for that worthless painting.
No, I'm sorry. I would have given it to you for the first 10 that you offered me, but you tried to cheat us, and that's what we won't stand for. We won't work with crooks. That's why we live here. We're living a clean life.
Oh, but I must have that painting, Freddie. Once I had an original Utrillo, and once I had an original Gauguin, but I have never had an original Da Vinci, and I must have that painting. I must have that painting.
You know, I once had an original Skelton show. You know what's wrong with him?
What?
He's been watching too much of Loretta Young. Better than a chinchilla.
Mr. Gilbert insisted.
Yeah, come right in, Mr. Gilbert. It's all right.
All right, Freddie. Where is that painting?
What painting?
That painting!
There's no painting there.
Look, Freddie, I'm going to get my hands on that painting if it's the last thing I do.
You're mighty warm.
Never mind the wisecracks. Where is that painting?
Please, you're wrinkling my heart sharpener and Da Vinci. I mean my overcoat.
Where is that painting?
I cut it up.
You cut it up.
Yeah, I cut it up.
You cut up a Da Vinci. An original Da Vinci.
You said it was worthless, remember?
Oh, no.
You give yourself a headache doing that. What's my furniture, too? Now, I didn't hurt the painting. See, I cut around that. It's still good.
Now he tells.
I know you'll agree that America's finest car is the new Packard for 1956. Perhaps you're one of the many friends of our program who suggested we dramatize the story of an American missionary in communist China. Here it is, from a recent issue of Reader's Digest, the timely true story, The Brainwashing of John Hayes.
In the autumn of 1951, the Communist Chinese government in Beiping decided it was time to take action against a group they had long feared and hated, the American Protestant missionaries. As one of their first targets, they chose the Reverend John Hayes, professor of English at the Chinese National Teachers College of Guian and dean of all American pedagogues in the country. You die now, John Hayes.
Halt! Why are you silent, man? Why do you lower your eyes at the sight of an enemy of the people being taken to pay for his crimes? Look at him! The criminal John Hayes, the imperialist spy. Look at his bound hands and his nakedness. See how he has lost face? Dogs. Dogs! You do not deserve the benefits the People's Party has brought you. Gone!
He has their sympathy. But he won't have their sympathy when they hear their confession of his crimes from his own lips.
But Hayes is not an ordinary man. He will be difficult.
Why do you think I came from Beijing? I enjoy dealing with difficult men. Especially Americans. However, I'll permit you to conduct the preliminary investigations.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Chernik.
For 3 months following Hayes' arrest, he was confined to a tiny cell designed to be a torture in itself. Time came to have no shape nor form for Hayes. He was not permitted to know the definition between day and night. He was left completely alone, except for the eyes, which studied his every movement. He was not permitted to sleep, and he was fed the minimum necessary to sustain life. This was to break down his physical resistance. There is no mystery about the process that has come to be termed brainwashing. It is based on simple fundamentals, known for 1,000 years. Once the physical will to resist has been reduced to the lowest ebb, the mind is subjected to the same relentless erosion, until the subject is reduced to such mental confusion that he cannot differentiate between the conscious and the subconscious, between fantasy and reality. You are an imperialistic spy.
No.
Admit you wrote letters to America telling about our country.
China's been my home all my life. If I wrote letters to the United States, I did nothing but to explain the position of the Chinese people.
But you admit writing the letters.
Yes.
Now admit you knew it was against the law to write to the United States.
Is it against the law to write letters to Russia?
Repeat after me. I wrote letters to the United States.
Naturally, I will admit that. I wrote letters to the United States, but not to...
Repeat it again. I wrote letters to the United States.
I wrote letters to the United States.
Once more, I wrote letters to the United States. Admit it. Repeat after me. I wrote letters to the United States. 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 Write it in your own words. That you regret your error. That you now see the light. That you are sorry for the damage you have done. That you now endorse the principles of communism and the Chinese people's government. That you wish to atone for your crime.
I have committed no crime.
Write it in your own words that you have been deceived by the false leaders of Wall Street warmongers.
I've had no sleep. I can't think or feel.
You may sleep after you have written.
to atone for my crimes against the Chinese people. Right. I wish to atone. 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 I wish to atone.
Professor Hayes. Professor Hayes. I cannot tell you how grieved I am to see a man of your stature in such a pitiful state. But you have no one to blame but yourself. Why do you insist on torturing yourself by not cooperating?
There is no compromise with evil. At least not for me.
I didn't come to debate with you. No, I have too much respect for the quality of your mind. In fact, I came here to save your mind for the benefit of the People's Republic of China.
In what way?
We ask you to sign a simple document.
Confessing that my whole life and the life of my father has been a lie?
Look, I have full power to dispose of your case. I'll take you to Beijing. It's the honored guest of the government. You're going to be maintained at government's expense, and you're going to be named a member of the People's Educational Division for the whole China. What is your answer, Professor?
I'm thinking of an answer made by another man in the face of temptation. Get thee behind me, Satan.
The officer in charge of the preliminary investigation told me that you are almost ready to face the People's Court. I cannot remember that any man brought before that court has not confessed or been condemned to death.
I have no fear of death. And I will not confess.
We shall see. Goodbye, John Hayes.
After months of confinement, the Chinese interrogators of John Hayes considered that he was properly conditioned to be put on trial.
Get back! You cannot go in. No one is admitted to the court.
Get up! Who told you to sit down?
Get up! You dare sit without the permission of the court? Stand up, Vincent, Yankee!
Now you may sit down. You are smiling, prisoner. Do you find your position amusing?
Forgive me, Wang Tzu.
Do not foul my name by daring to speak it. Address me as the president of the People's Court.
Forgive me, Mr. President of the People's Court. But I am remembering a thought which came to me last night.
What thoughts could you have that we do not already know?
It was at a moment when I almost doubted I would have the strength to face this court today. When I prayed for guidance and courage. Suddenly it was revealed to me that I am the prisoner of small boys. The kind of boys that I have taught over the years.
You dare to call the judges of the People's Court boys?
Bigger and stronger, perhaps. And certainly more dangerous, but boys for all that. And I gave thanks, because I knew then that I could face this court, just as I have faced countless boys in countless classrooms as a teacher.
You are aware of the nature of the charges against you.
I am at a complete loss.
You have put traitorous thoughts in the minds of your pupils.
Never.
You have posed as a Christian missionary teacher, But you are a foreign agent.
Wang Tu, I beg pardon, Mr. President of the People's Court. You have known me personally for 20 years. You have been a guest in my home. On your honor, do you accuse me of being an enemy of China?
I am not here to answer your questions. You are a member of the American Presbyterian Board of Foreign Missions. Are you not?
Yes.
Your J. Edgar Hoover is a trustee of the same Presbyterian Board of Foreign Missions. Is he not?
Yes.
Then you admit your guilt. The head of your FBI is your employer. You are an FBI agent. You are an American spy.
False. Mr. Hoover is a member of the Board of Foreign Missions of my church as an individual, not as an official of the American government.
Confess that you have written reports concerning military matters to your FBI spy chief.
You know that I am not a spy?
I know that you are an imperialist spy.
Who strides across China today as her lord and master? Who has already torn away from China the provinces of Manchuria and Outer Mongolia? Who has conquered and occupied Tibet and overthrown the Dalai Lama? Who dominates China today as she has never been dominated before, even during the Manchu conquest? And whose picture is that? In the place of honor, over the bench of the Chinese People's Court, it is a picture of Stalin. Even in your own court, Mao holds a lesser place. Therefore, in the China of today, I could not be an imperialistic spy, because I am not a Russian.
Take him out!
Some men, in the face of adversity, can draw strength and courage from within themselves, can confound even the most cunning and implacable of other men. John Hayes found strength in his faith and in truth.
You support the Nationalist Party of the renegade Chiang Kai-shek, who has the support of the warmongering American government.
I have no connection with the Chinese Nationalist Party, nor with Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek.
You lie again, John Hayes. You publicly read the funeral services over the body of a man who was head of the Nationalist Party at Quayang, after this court had condemned him as a traitor and ordered him to death.
Yes. Yes, I did that. He was a member of my church, and I am an ordained minister.
And by officiating at his funeral service, you gave aid and sympathy to the nationalist conspirators.
I should like to repeat the prayer spoken over the grave by the young daughter of the man condemned to death by this court. Heavenly Father, forgive the judges of the People's Court. Give those judges, I pray, a real understanding of justice, true love for the Chinese people, so that true peace may come to this poor land. That man was your friend, just as I was your friend.
You claim to be a friend of China. Yet you are one of the American capitalist teachers who has corrupted and enslaved our people for years with your Wall Street teachings.
Need I remind you of the labors of love performed by my father for the Chinese people until the day of his death? Need I mention the hospitals he built for the poor, his work for the improvement of farms, his suffering to save lives in the time of plague and famine? his founding of schools for the sons and daughters of the people.
Let me be heard. John Hayes is no enemy of the Chinese people.
Arrest that woman. Take the names of those persons with her.
Are you afraid to hear me? Higher!
There will be no further demonstrations.
Such a situation must be handled by force. Just as society, in spite of your teachings of brotherly love, can be changed for the better only by the use of force.
Force. Just as no man can hope to win friends, sympathy, or respect by causing the hatred of his fellow men, just as surely no nation can hope to win friends, aid, and understanding by incurring the hatred and contempt of her sister nations.
Yes, teacher. Then what would you have us do? Give up the friendship of Russia and bow to the United States?
Since you ask me the question, I will answer it. I would have China civilize Russia, and then have China become the bridge between the Eastern and Western worlds. China has the power and intelligence to do that. If only China will maintain her independence to do that. But China, at the moment, has abandoned her age-old concept of decency, morality, and good to follow after the false prophets who are using China as a cat's paw for their own sordid ends.
Take him out! Silence him!
It is possible to silence me, but not the truth of what I have said.
Admit it, that you have sought to overthrow the people's democracy.
Mr. President of the People's Court, what is a democracy?
China is a democracy.
Is it? In a democracy, the people rule themselves and elect their own officials. Will you name me the officials of the present Chinese government who have been elected by the people?
I have been lenient with you.
In a democracy, the people are guaranteed certain rights. Freedom of thought, of the press, of the inherent dignity of the individual. But above all, to be secure in his person and in his home.
You will not lecture this court.
Are you secure in your person? Are you secure in your home? Or do you wonder when the knock will come in the dead of the night at your door? In a democracy, there is justice. But in the China of today, there are only orders. Orders from the Kremlin. You think you are sitting in judgment on John Hayes? The truth is that the world at this moment is sitting in judgment on you and on this court. It is not John Hayes on trial. It is the honor and independence of China.
Take him out. We've heard enough. Such a man is dangerous. He must be disposed of at once.
We will not need a signed statement, nor a confession from you. Before the court, you have convicted yourself over and over.
I spoke the truth, as it has been given me to know the truth.
Oh, even sooner than I thought. The verdict of the court. You are ordered to be expelled from China immediately.
You were given the task to rid China of that man, John Hayes.
But we did do just that, Comrade Commissar.
Yes. You sent him on his way to Hong Kong as a conquering hero, not before a firing squad as a convicted criminal.
But we considered the international aspects of his case. The fact that he had the sympathy and the friendship of the people.
Your duty was to convict, to consider only that.
If we had condemned him to death, we would have made him a martyr.
Is such stupidity possible even to you? You still do not realize what has taken place in your court? You and the agents of the People's Court were entrusted with the important assignment of the brainwashing of John Hayes. I read the transcript of his trial. He used your court as a sounding board to echo the things in which he believes. He, John Hayes, brainwashed you, all of you.
Comrade Commissar.
Now you understand, there's no place in the people's government for stupid, bungling officials. Captain.
Is this then our reward for serving you?
You expect to be rewarded for betraying your party?
It is John Hayes I betrayed. He was my friend, and he spoke the truth, and I would not listen. For this, I deserve to die, and I will die willingly. But not for you and your party. You have betrayed our country. You are destroying China, and someday you will pay more heavily than I am paying.
No. Get rid of them.
Yes, Comrade Commissar.
2 days later, John Hayes was on his way to Hong Kong, bound for the United States. He was painfully saddened at the prospect of leaving this country which he loved so dearly. He felt it was the last he should see of it. And then something occurred that made him feel differently. He passed a woman who stopped to wish him safe journey. With her was her son, who raised a grimy thumb and piped,
America tops.
He knew then that all was not lost. For as Christians think, so in the end must their captors.
At this same time by the Studebaker Packard Corporation and its dealers.
This program has been selected to be shown to our armed forces